Hi, I'm Sammy, and this is the Hollingbourne Meadows Trust. The village of Hollingbourne sits on the border of the Kent Downs, a legally protected area of outstanding natural beauty, but in 2004, the outskirts of the unprotected land were under threat from construction and encroachment. So the villagers came together and raised enough funds to themselves purchase the land, which they devoted to the natural world. The charity and registered company known as Hollingbourne Meadows Trust was born. Hollingbourne Meadows Trust owns 15 hectares of land across 2 sites, which is maintained by volunteers using traditional and less intrusive farming techniques. For example, the hedgerows are pruned on a 3-year rotational cycle, ensuring a supply of berries for the birds every winter. The charity's aim is to maintain the meadows for the benefit of the wildlife and those who appreciate it. The primary focus of the trust is habitat management, which is as equally as important as conserving the animals themselves. Next to the hedgerows are herbaceous strips of long grass that are home to many ants' nests and a habitat for small mammals such as the field vole. The long grass is only mowed once every other year. The trust is funded by charitable donations from the public and organisations. In return, the trust helps out the villagers by looking after the churchyard and other odd jobs around the village. The trust also makes a small income from the sale of hay and the renting of land for use by grazing livestock. Important financial decisions are made by an annually elected board of directors. By allowing grazing on their meadows, it reduces the fertility of the soil, which encourages wildflowers to grow. Important insects such as the northern yellow bumblebee, which is currently in population decline due to the loss of habitat. Large sections of the meadow are cut for hay using traditional haymaking methods late in the year. This gives the grasses and the flowers time to reproduce, and the long grass becomes a summer breeding ground for bird species such as the common corncrake. Birds of prey have been spotted hunting in the meadow. I was lucky enough to bear witness to a buzzard catch prey as it soared above me. There have also been sightings of owls as they catch small mammals from amongst the grasses. The Countryside and Rights of Way Act 2000 states that the public have access to the land. However, it is the Trust's responsibility to maintain the footpaths and stiles. On my first day, I helped the Trust to build a stile. A large portion of the Trust's efforts are spent on keeping the pathways, meadows and lawns accessible. In addition to being a legal requirement, these pathways, but only when people stick to them, direct the public away from sensitive wildlife hotspots and on the route preferred by the Trust. By creating an environment that is aesthetically pleasing, it keeps the public sponsors satisfied. This encourages further donations, which are an investment to further improve the land for the wildlife. Coppicing is a woodland management technique that had gradually ceased to be practiced over the last century. It was followed by a decline in habitat dependence such as invertebrates, spring flowers and small mammals. A coppice is allowed to grow for 15 to 25 years before being cut down to a stump about a metre high. This creates large clearings in the forest so that other plants and saplings can grow. The Hollingbourne Meadows Trust have planted a 1 hectare area of trees. Dedicated to coppicing, this area is called the coppice. The coppice will provide an income from the sale of wood, but most importantly, the littered woodland floor is a traditional home for the dormouse. The trees now have a large root system, so will grow back quickly and have more flowers and saplings than they did before, increasing species abundance. Not to mention that the fungi will also benefit greatly from the decaying material. To protect the trees against the bunny rabbits that eat them whilst they're saplings, every single tree needs a guard. Over the course of 2 days, I helped to install and repair 600 tree guards. The Trust offers a Sponsor a Tree scheme, whereby the public can purchase a tree and have an engraved plaque made, and then the Meadows Trust will plant the tree for them. Quite often these trees were dedicated to friends and family members. During a week-long event, the team planted 26 trees early in February, a somewhat emotional experience because to some, these trees symbolise more than just a tree, but the passing of a loved one. Sponsored trees from the Sponsor a Tree scheme will be planted around pathways to make a picturesque view for the public. These trees will not be copies, but instead be allowed to grow wild, because they're designed to be a potential home for birds and woodland flowers for generations to come. The Sponsor a Tree scheme is a great way of raising money for charity, but it also meets the Trust's charitable aims of giving something back to the community. Before commencement with the Hollingbourne Meadows Trust, I decided to improve upon the following skills whilst on work placement: teamwork, theoretical ability, communication, completion of allocated tasks, and practical ability. The workload at Hollingbourne Meadows Trust is far too great to complete alone. Working in the team and communicating effectively with one another is essential. At the start of the day, we are all assigned individual tasks and responsibilities, so we know exactly what we were doing all day long. We worked like a production line. As one person was completing their task, another was already preparing the equipment required for the next stage. This was particularly efficient during the tree planting and dead hedge building sessions. There was many stages that needed to flow seamlessly throughout the day. In order to improve upon my communication in the workplace and theoretical ability regarding habitat and management practices, when I required detailed further instruction or clarity on the importance of tasks, and I wouldn't hesitate to discussing the topic further with my experienced mentor and founder of the Trust. I am pleased with the improvements to my theoretical knowledge, including the best times of year to plant, when the animals are most active, and how a meadow is maintained. Where possible, any excess organic material is recycled into a dead hedge habitat. A dead hedge can act as a hideaway from predators for many species. Large quantities of fallen woods and shrubs are used in the creation of a dead hedge. Reptiles, such as the common lizard, particularly like those hedges. They act as the perfect area to bask in the heat of the sun, whilst also offering protection. The Trust has many future plans for the meadows, some including installing basking mats for reptiles, as well as improvements to the flowing lentic system, so it's more suited for the amphibians on site.